to add to the spoke of all the other tools, right? You can't just do home meetings and be successful. You want to filter the home meetings to live presentations, and also you want to at the same time utilize the websites. So really, home meetings are just another spoke of the wheel to help you build your business. And the very first thing that home meetings start with is, one, getting it on the calendar. What we like to do with our new consultants when they join is put it on the calendar as their business grand opening. A home meeting is a great way to get their warm market, or let's say their hot market, which sometimes is the hardest market, to come to their house where they would feel comfortable and get them the information. So already you could already get through your hot market with the home meetings and get them to your home. Whereas, I don't know if y'all have experienced this, sometimes your hot market, they're the hardest to get to a live business presentation because they feel like, well, are people going to sell me there? You know, and they you know, have that guard up. Whereas in the comfort of your home where they're familiar, they're more willing to spend time with you there. Okay, so make sense? Okay, well, we want to always coach people when they do have a home meeting on the calendar, a proper way to invite. Okay, there is a proper way that we train our team to invite people to their home meeting. And it's not to get their people that they know, love, and trust to join the business. Simply the home meeting is there for them to learn about this new project or business that they've started so they could better know what they're doing and help support them in the ways that they're going to need support. Because frankly, even if they were not going to join the business, they still need support of their friends and family, right? Right? Yeah? You guys still alive? All right. So let's say a proper invitation, you could use one or the other, or you could tailor it to your own. We like to say, hey, Beth, I've started a new project that's going to help me retire so I could spend my time with my kids and be at home with my kids. Would you come to my house on Friday night and just learn about what it is I'm doing? I'm having a business grand opening, so could you just come and support me? Is that simple? Pretty simple, right? Non-threatening. They're coming to support you and learn about your new business. That's going to do what? Retire her so she could stay at home with her kids. The key in that invitation is having your why incorporated in the invitation. Again, just like what Peter Ludo was saying, he spent a lot of time on the why, because why? The why is the most important thing in this business. A lot of people think it's knowing all the information, but it's knowing in your heart what Ambit is going to do for you. So while we're on that topic, let's talk about some words to eliminate. Because a lot of times new people will come into this business and they'll say, I've started this thing. You know, it's this thing that I've started and I hope it's going to retire me. One day I think it will. And believe it or not, when we listen to our new team members invite people, they actually say that stuff. And it's like, wow, like if you invited me to something where you were very timid, I would not have the confidence to come. Like I would think like, I'd rather probably watch the football game on Sunday than come see what thing you're doing now. See, conviction gets people motivated to come help you. If you say, you know what, I've started a new project that I'm so excited about. It's going to allow me to fire my boss and be at home with my kids in 3 months. Would you come and just support me? And because you're my friend and I respect your opinion, would you just come for an hour Friday night and be with me and meet my business partner that I've started this with? Do you think that has more conviction? Sure. If that's someone that's a good friend of yours, they would be happy to be there for you, right? Okay, so you got to get those words out of your mind and train your people to get the words thing, okay, try, and hope. You're not going to hope this is going to happen. It's going to happen. Whether it takes you 5 years or 3 years, whether you have to walk the plank, whatever it takes, right? You're going to quit your job. You're going to do whatever that you want out of Ambit. It's going to happen because you're going to make it happen, right? That's right. You won't take no for an answer. Okay. So now setting up the home meeting. We want to keep it very, very simple. A lot of people try and do a big old buffet spread. Chips and salsa is fine with water. And the thing with home meetings, if you set up the chips and salsa and water, set it up by the TV, not in another room where the kitchen is, because people are going to naturally congregate to where the food and refreshments are. You want them to get settled in front of the TV. Okay, so after that, when you start the home meeting, we like to have the host or the new consultant come up and share their why. Again, conviction here is so important because, for example, we just had a home meeting with someone that said, I'm having a baby and I think this is going to help me quit my job. You know, that we didn't feel her heart there. We didn't feel that she actually believed in it herself because she didn't, right? But on the other hand, we have this other couple where they hold their baby, right? They say, you know what? It is my dream to stay at home with my baby, and Ambit is going to help me quit my job so I could raise them. Do you think that has a little bit more credibility and passion, right? Passion is the most important thing. So we usually have the host start the home meeting with their why. Okay, and then after that, we like to point at the tools, pat with the credibility, pat the credibility. So even if you had only a few credibility tools, what I would have is the SMU Cox Dallas 100. All you have to do is read and point. So pretty simple. Everybody could read and point, even though you don't know what this is all about, the background of it. Everybody can read and point. See, the benefit with home meetings is that it's very duplicatable. And if you keep it simple, someone that's brand new in the business could right away invite people and point at the tools, right? So if you have the Dallas 100, you could point at the tools at that. We like to use the Success from Home magazine, okay? So point at the tools. You're going to look at some articles, explain some articles to them that you learned about. And then also, of course, the granddaddy of them all, Inc. 500, right? So if you have those credibility tools, that will be sufficient enough for you to start your home meeting with. So you're going to point at the tools. Another, after that, what we're going to do is the famous Ambit power play, right? Could everybody do the power play where you turn on the power on the DVD player and play the DVD? And about the DVD, okay, it's about maybe 25 minutes long. So you're going to play it from start to finish. One of the points that you're going to kind of pause on is after they talk about the service. Okay, after they talk about the service, you're going to pause the DVD and have on hand 2 to 3 examples of free electricity. So you could reiterate, you know, the service is very, very simple. It's electricity, so we don't have to go into a lot of product education. But one thing that sets us apart from all the other companies is our free energy program. So you go ahead and pass around the free energy bills. Make sure you have 2 to 3 of them. And if you don't have free energy yet yourself, you know, ask one of the leaders to send you a copy and just print that off. And then after that, you'll play the compensation. And then after the compensation ends, you're pretty much done with the power play section. And so what's next after that, and I'm going a little fast because we have a lot to cram in, but after that you're going to do one of 3, okay? If you have a leader with you at your home meeting, you're going to have the leader tell their story and testimony. Maybe you don't have the leader with you. Maybe you could have a leader on speakerphone. So you're going to call one of the leaders on speakerphone, and if they are in the magazine, you could kind of, you know, go to their article, give them a brief introduction of who you're going to get on the phone, and then call Brian on the phone and have him tell his story, okay? And then maybe, you know, you don't have access to someone on the phone, you don't have access to a leader coming to your home. What we've done also is play one of the testimonials on the DVD. So you could have one of those. What the point of this portion is to get a story out to someone that has success. Okay, because all the information won't tie in until they see someone that has had success. And typically, if you could tailor it to kind of your audience, so you could choose one of the leaders' stories that will relate to them, the more powerful that will be. Okay, so you're going to have one of those 3 scenarios. And then after that, portion, what we like to do is we like to just pretty much adjourn the meeting. If someone is in the front of the room, you want to have a little excuse to go from the front of the room, maybe take a quick bathroom break, let people stretch their legs, and answer questions on a one-on-one basis. And the reason is because sometimes in a home meeting, you're in a smaller setting, and if one person is negative and they start spouting out all these negative things, they could spoil the rest of the group. So you want to make sure you get yourself out of the front of the room and answer questions on a one-on-one basis. Now the time frame of the home meetings is about, with the DVD and the introduction, why, and the free energy, probably 30 to 40 minutes long. so it doesn't take a long time. You want to prep your guests to take an hour out of their schedule, because the most important time of the home meeting actually happens after you adjourn all the information, and that's sitting one-on-one with people, answering people's questions, so you could allow about 20 minutes for that. So pretty simple, right? Can everybody, do you feel like you could put one on the calendar and get one started?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, awesome. That's what we hope, because we really love the home meetings, and some of our fastest growing teams were built on home meetings that filter to the live presentation too.